Welcome back, folks. I have to apologize for being AWOL this month, mostly because I was burnt out. And then came the second episode of Frontlines, and then came 1.4.1 with the merit system, as well as there being tons of very good video games other than World of Tanks, like Resident Evil 2 Remake, Devil May Cry 5, the new Japanese or Samurai Souls. That's pretty awesome. So I've been pretty busy, but I still play World of Tanks, and for this video, I'll share with you guys my analysis and results of 1 week playing World of Tanks and about 20 merits later. So I played about 200 battles, I earned 14 universal fragments, 3 Russian, 3 German each, and 1 of French, Chinese, and American fragments, with 7 vehicle fragments. So those give you about 80,000 XP, which is pretty hefty, but it's a week. Not counting the special worth of fragments for the nations, but it's only for the vehicles. So I took a look at the vehicles, counted up all the discounts, but it gave me the T-18 howitzer motor carriage at tier 3. It's a tier 3, I don't need a blueprint for tier 3, but most of the vehicle blueprints are for higher tiers, mostly like tier 9s and tier 8s, some tier 10s as well, so it's not like tier 5s or tier 4s. But then again, I have already researched most of the vehicles, like 70% of the vehicles, so out of the game, which is a lot. So that kind of XP discount is pretty good when you think about it, but it's mostly artillery. I've gotten a lot of artillery discounts. I got like 3 out of the 8, so it's only counting 7. I played a little bit more after this picture was edited, but it gave me 3 artilleries, which is pretty hefty. Also, it gave me 1 day of premium, 1 binoculars, which is worth 500,000 credits, 27 premium consumables, which I sold it for 270,000 credits, a baseline of 165,000 credits, and 71 various boosters, or whatever they call it, some sort of, let's see, directives, that's what they call it, whatever, I don't use those, and 2 crew skins, which is the Unicorn Dude and the RNGesus. So I'll give you guys the link to this picture, as well as my forum post, but yeah, that's 1 week. That's 199 battles, so we'll count it as 200 battles, but that's like 20 merits for 200 battles, which is basically 1 merit per 10 battles, which is pretty decent. And a lot of players are discussing that they were getting about 12 battles or 15 battles per merit, so somehow I got it in 10. Because I was recording all the matches. So I have right here in my menus page, in my settings, I have record all battles into the replay system. So I counted in the files for all the replays. So basically I have played like tier 5s, but those don't, actually those do count. Yeah. So I was playing tier 5s, I never played tier 3s, I never played tier 4s. I played tier 5 and mostly tier 8s, 9 and 10, so high tiers. And I did not play as much artillery. So here is my stats page for the last week, but I don't want to brag, but that's a stats. So as you can see, in the past 7 days, it's about what I average with my WN8, so whatever. And I wasn't doing so hot with the victories, but I don't really care, so yada yada yada, yada yada yada, defense point, capture points, whatever. So basically, yeah, I mean, does that mean you have to do well to earn more merits in battle, or quicker unlocking of the merits? I don't know, but it's a very good system. I love it, since it gives you all the XP boosters or discounts that you normally would not play for vehicles that you normally would not go down unless you have like tremendous patience for some of the garbage ones. So let's go to the tech tree and we'll talk about this directives or merits, other stuff. But as you can see, I have unlocked most of the vehicles, other than a few artilleries and the newer comers like the K91 and the Object 705A. I haven't unlocked those yet, but surprisingly, out of the 20 merits, I never got a duplicate or of a vehicle already unlocked, so it never changed from the specific vehicle fragment into the universal fragment or the nation fragment. But I have researched most of the vehicles. Never played the leopard line because, ugh. Why would you play for a vehicle line that does not give you a good vehicle? Surprisingly, I got the STB. Surprisingly, but that was way back, like SD version. But I have researched all the vehicles, so I can tell you that this system also works towards the vehicles that you don't have, which is great because you don't want to get, I don't think you want to get repeats or duplicates, since the universal fragments and the nation fragments don't worth as much as the vehicle fragments. So for example, I got the K91 vehicle fragment. So that fragment alone is 12 universal and 4 Russian equals to 1. So as you can see, one fragment, a specific vehicle fragment, is worth a lot, whereas universal fragments are garbage. You need 14 for one. Holy shit. And nation fragments are okay, but they're still, whatever. So you want to have the vehicle fragment unlocks. You want to have the specific vehicle unlocks. Those are great. Those are worth a lot of XP. Whereas one part of the universal fragment, that's like 1000 XP or so. Whereas one vehicle fragment is like 17,000 or about 20,000 XP for higher tiers. So another rule of merits is that you don't want to unlock lower tiers. So for example, they gave me the T-18 howitzer motor carriage. I never played the artillery line. I unlocked it from the Chafee into the Chafee artillery. But yeah. Why would you give me a tier 3 artillery unlock? And this piece of blueprint only cost 222 XP. It costs 4 universal fragments and 1 American fragment. That is useless. That is not even worth. Just free XP it. Just free XP the tier 3 or tier 4. Maybe the tier 5, but yeah, lower tiers are not really worth your fragments. So those are pretty garbage. Also, I really wanted to disband or just disassemble this blueprint fragment into 4 pieces of universal and 1 American. That would be great, but you cannot do that. That would be cheating. So you cannot disenchant, quote unquote, the lower tier fragment pieces. So basically, be wise with your fragments and always work towards a vehicle you want to have. For example, it's the same concept as getting the female crews, the limited resource of female crews into vehicles that will benefit you the most. So for example, I talked about it way back when the female crews first came out. I chose a few vehicles that would benefit me directly. So first of all, I chose the T-54 because originally the T-54 could go to the Object 430 as well as the 140 as well as the T-62A. So this could go to multiple vehicles. I think they also go to the 430 back then. Did it? It's like you can unlock 3 vehicles from this thing, or 2 vehicles at least. So I chose the T-54, and that's where I put my female crews because I would spend a lot of time in it. So I would suggest you unlock vehicles with blueprints that you're going to play a lot of. But what if you unlock something stupid that you don't play it? That would be dumb, right? So basically unlocking the TVPVTU with blueprints, that would be a very bad idea because you would suffer so hard. But unless you get the vehicle fragments sporadically or randomly drop, that would be decent. But yeah, just go for the Skoda T50 if you can, because oh my god, this thing sucks. So yeah, that's the overall gist of the merit system, but there are some vehicles that are basically deflated in terms of value of their blueprints. Surprisingly, most of the tier 9s are somewhat like that, And what I mean is, for example, they give me the WZ111 1GFT, which is, or GFT. So this is the tier 9. It gives me a discount of 9%, which you would think, ooh, that would be a lot of XP and stuff, right? But this vehicle, as you can see here, is only 10,000 or so XP reduced. And I thought, shouldn't it be like 17,000 or 15,000 or so? It turns out the research cost from the tier 8, the 1GFT, is not as much as you would expect, because this vehicle at tier 8 needs more XP for the guns. So a lot of the XP required for the actual tier 9 got shifted into the guns, and that's why the value got deflated, whereas the value for the actual research modules got inflated. So you have a disbalance or unproportional unbalance of the tier 9 vehicle, and that's why the blueprint for the tier 9 vehicle is not as good, because the value of the total is not as high. So yeah, some of the fragments are not really worth, but you're already given the vehicle fragment, so do with it if you want. But I still like this system. It does not mean you have to be perfect about all the pieces. You do not need to assemble all the pieces, so you can just take the discount and go with it. For example, I already played the AMX 1390, and I'm working towards the AMX 13105. I already have XP on this vehicle, but it gives me a discount of 7%, which is like 17,000 or something. So still quite hefty. You don't have to play a lot, but I do like this system, so it's pretty decent. Pretty decent. And there you have it, folks, the merit system analysis for my first week of playing with the merit system, as well as 200 battles later and 20 merits later. So I still think it actually gives out more frequently if you play well. So I think skill is still, you know, factor into the calculations. So you cannot just like bot your way to like tier 10 and you get another tier 10 fragments worth of stuff. I don't think it works like that. So yeah, it's not exactly random or sporadic. It still requires some sort of good plays. And throughout this week, I have been playing for the personal missions, so I was really trying to do well. So I wasn't playing artillery, I wasn't making a meme or using high explosive on something like the Patton. So yeah, using the 105 derp gun from the M4 on the Patton tank, that would be dumb. But yeah, I wasn't trying to do memes, I wasn't trying to do, you know, super ballsy YOLO life gameplay style of, you know, gameplays. So I try to do well, I try to play vehicles I know and play towards their strength, and that's how I think you should try to approach the merit system. But play the game however you want. Try to have multiple goals while playing this game, because just working for the merit system is not worth it by itself. I was playing with the intention of finishing the personal missions as well as having some merits along the way, so killing two birds with one stone. And if there's like a event of 50% XP discount or bonus, that would be even better. So try to play better if you have all the stuff aligned, like the personal missions, like the event stuff, all the good stuff all aligned and stuff. But play vehicles you know, or play vehicles that you need to research, or you need to research higher tiers or finish deleting and stuff. But I do like it. I do think it's not a tomato system. It's not exactly a bot system to basically give the bots more higher tier vehicles. I don't think it's like that, but I do wish they would put more fun stuff into the reward stuff. It's like the holiday ops where it gives you stuff randomly, but I do wish they give us more stuff, like more frequent drops of other stuff, like camo, for example, or for example, female crews, or even, I don't know, like a premium tier 3. That would be ridiculous if you give us, just give us some gold, like 200 gold or something, but it doesn't. So I don't know. Maybe if it give us gold, this thing would be a lot better. But I am kinda asking too much. But if they would bring back tank rewards with this system, with the personal missions, holy shit, that's a lot of stuff to work for throughout one match. What the hell is this T30 doing? Looking at his ass? I have no idea. So yeah, like some of this stuff is still absolutely horrendously imbalanced. Like the matchmaking, like the artillery. Also, let's talk about the artillery rebalancing. Just give us back AP shell. Give us back no stun AP shell. Just punish people who don't care about artillery. And don't punish like people who know about artillery and take cover. Doesn't get AP'd. I don't want the rapid firing stun mechanic of garbage 9.15 or 9.18, whatever that patch is. That patch sucked. That patch messed up the matchmaking, messed up the light tanks, messed up the artillery. All three freaking factors into one. Jesus. But yeah, once you know how to play this vehicle or play the game well, you basically dominate with every vehicle in the game. You know your weak spots, you know your strength, you know amount of penetration that you need. It's all good. But yeah, the gold shell also rebalance was mentioning like earlier than the artillery balance. Whatever happened to the gold shell rebalance? What the fuck? I don't know. But April 1st is coming up with the dog camo scheme. I love that camo scheme. Such camo, much wow. Oh, that is... I want that skin! But I wish there were more fun stuff like that, more meme stuff. If you could get a Rick Ashley camo pattern, oh my god, I would come so hard. Never gonna give you up. That skin would be amazing. I doubt it, but copyright infringement, obviously. You cannot use his face. No. So yeah, I still think it's a good time to play World of Tanks. I still think it's not exactly, you know, pay to win or pay to play. There are multiple factors of issue. Of course, not every game is perfect unless you play something like Resident Evil 2 Remake or, you know, AAA made games that requires like $50 or $60. But it's a free-to-play game, and there are, you know, rough edges in the cogs and stuff, but you still get to play a fun game, you still get rewarded. I still think it's not exactly, you know, pay to unlock everything like some other game. But yeah, it's still pretty good, and there are a few balance issues, obviously artillery, matchmaking, gold shell, yada yada yada, but oh well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. I will be trying out the 0.7.0 April Fools, and that would be great. But I started playing World of Tanks in 8.2 or 8.1, patch 0.8.2 or 0.1. And by that time, there were some physics. It's not great, but there was some. And there were like more tier 10s than the 1 or 2 or 3 tier 10s back then. They already changed they already added the E4s and E5s and E3s. They already added like... They already changed the IS-4 to tier 10. They already added the STI and other stuff. But back then, they just added the Armtel Borsig and the Waffenträger line, and I was very excited. I think after like 3 months of playing, they added the German glass cannons, but it'll be a throwback. So there you go, folks. The new merit system, I think it's pretty good if you know what the hell they're doing. Oh shit, I missed that shit. But yeah, this is a replay, of course. I played this game, and I tried to unlock the Excalibur, the stupid Ford Transit. That thing is taking a long time. Originally, I thought you only have to do it like with 1 battle. No, it turns out you have to do it in 15 battles. Fucking Christ. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.